Well, good afternoon. I'm being joined today by our great partners from the University of Michigan Poverty Solutions, from Wayne Metro, from the Accounting Aid Society, and from the United Way of Southeastern Michigan in something that's become very successful in the city of Detroit. But it's the push for all Detroiters to get the tax refunds you're entitled to. And so wealthy people have got chapters and chapters of tax breaks in the revenue code. But people of lower income have two. And good thing is that they are both very significant. In fact, the tax credits that you can get could exceed the amount of taxes you pay. That means you could actually get a check back over and above your income taxes, but you've got to file your return. Let me show you how you do that and who is here to help you. So two big credits. First is the child tax credit. And for most people in this city, you were getting a monthly check for 6 months from July to December. You still have half that credit to go that you can get by filing your taxes. And the earned income tax credit, which Detroiters are very familiar with, where if you work and own a relatively low wage, you could end up with a very large refund check. So what do you need to do to get them? The key is you got to file your tax return, because the government's not going to send you a check back until they get your return. And so the earned income tax credit is for people with low income who are working. And it has a huge amount of money. We started this in 2017 because we realized that Detroiters were leaving $80 million in refunds unclaimed. It was tax dollars sitting in Washington, D.C. that stayed with the federal government instead of going into your pocket. And so we launched a campaign with the help of Bloomberg Associates, and it was enormously effective. We've added $50 million a year more, and last year, 90,000 Detroiters got a total of $310 million in the earned income tax credit. And it all sounds complicated, but we have folks here to help you. And to give you a sense of what's available, this chart will show you, you could get a credit up to $7,000 if you have 3 children or more, but typically it's between $1,500 and $6,000 that you can get as a refund if you fill out your taxes. The second piece is the child care tax credit, and you've seen, I think most people have been getting this check every month. It stopped in December. So the way they worked it is the first 6 months you got 1/12 of your check, and then the other 6/12 come when you file your income tax statement. And so single head of the household making less than $112,000, married couple making less than $150,000. That's the large percentage of the city of Detroiters. So if you have children under 18 in your home, you are eligible. But you have to, as I say, file the return. The IRS, if you got those monthly payments, is going to send you a form like this. It's a letter. Keep it and take it into your tax preparer. You're going to need it to get the other half of your money. So, what does all this mean and how do you do it? The wealthy people have really expensive financial advisors and accountants who scour the tax code to find ways to save the money. You've got it even better. You've got Wayne Metro and the Accounting Aid Society. And so you can if you want, and if you're going to file your taxes for free, United Way has got this option, and you can do it on your own. And if you've done this a few times, you may be able to do it on your own and do just fine. But if you're making less than $57,000 a year, you get the world's experts for free, and they will sit down with you in person, or they will do a consult with you virtually, and they'll do it just as well either way. And I don't have enough good to say about the Accounting Aid Society and Wayne Metro. I have been at their sites when they are sitting with their clients. You are treated every bit as professionally at any paid tax preparer agency. And these are the experts. All they do all day is make sure that folks who have the same similar situation as you get every dollar that they're entitled to. And so we want you to come in and see them. And you can make the appointment by calling 211 or go online to get the fax, gettaxfax.org, and they will set you up for an appointment. The sooner you file your returns, the sooner the refund can come back to you. So all those people who waited till April 15th to go down into the mailbox and stick it in the mail, that's the wrong thing to do. You want to get this filed the earliest possible date so the check is coming from the IRS back to you. So that is what we're trying to do. I'm going to give you a chance to hear from our partners who have been they're really committed to this. They're really committed. The EITC and Child Tax Credit have lifted thousands of families in this city out of poverty because of the efforts of these folks. And with that, I'll turn it over to the head of U of M Poverty Solutions, Professor Luke Schaefer.
Thank you, Mayor Duggan. I'm really excited to be here to talk about the child tax credit and the earned income tax credit. As the mayor mentioned, we had a new change in the child tax credit for last year, and families started getting monthly checks starting last summer through the end of the year. And the research that's been coming out since then has just been incredible. Millions of children lifted out of poverty, millions of families reporting that they were having less trouble putting food on the table. They were more likely to have food on the table. There was an incredible study that was a randomized control trial, the best kind of study that we know how to do in the academy, that showed that a child tax credit-like benefit for families with a baby in their first year of life, the baby at age 1 showed noticeable differences in brain activity, more good brain activity for development. So this is incredible research, right? We just can't ask for more of an evidence base that shows that this program's working. Here in Detroit, with that first half of the child tax credit, we saw over $100 million flow into the pockets of Detroit families. Families that got the child tax credit were significantly more likely to say their financial situation is better today than it was a year ago. Parents who said they spent the child tax credit on paying down debt were significantly more likely to report having a more manageable debt load. And to quote one respondent from the Detroit Metropolitan Area Community Study, the child tax credit has kept us from losing our home due to back taxes. It is also the reason we have kept current on our utility bills. We would not have survived this otherwise. The other amazing tax credit is the earned income tax credit. So the EITC, as the mayor said, is something that's been around for a long time, and the evidence on that is incredible too. Families can use that pot of money that they get when they file their taxes to make investments into their future. They can invest in education, or they can invest in a new car to get to work, or new work clothes. So together, these two policies is the best thing that we're doing. They pack a punch, but we gotta make sure that all families get it. So as of right now, we know about 72% of Detroit families are reporting that they've received those monthly child tax credit payment. And as I mentioned, that's more than $100 million into people's pockets. But a lot of the families who say they haven't gotten it, they think that they're ineligible. But looking at the data, we think that there's a good chance that they are eligible. So we gotta make sure that families get the rest of that tax credit. As the mayor said, only half of it paid out in monthly payments, and the rest is going to come on their tax return. We got to make sure that they get it. And if you're someone who thinks, oh, I'm ineligible for that, I'm not going to get anything, it's time to take another look. And there's no better operation than in the city of Detroit. So we've been at Poverty Solutions excited to partner with Wayne Metro, with the Accounting Aid Society, and with the United Way here in Detroit on what the White House has called one of the best outreach operations in the nation. And so what I just want to stress, right, is we know that this money can really matter. It can matter for your families, and we've got an incredible team here. I'm going to turn it over to Louis Pitzker, who's the CEO of Wayne Metro, who can tell you a little bit more about what they're doing. And if you think you're not eligible, it is just worth getting into a conversation with some of these folks to absolutely make sure you're not leaving money on the table. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you, Professor Schaefer. And this is like really an exciting time to be here with a bunch of great partners on this initiative. We here, Wayne Metro, Accounting Aid Society, U of M Poverty Solutions, City of Detroit, and United Way, we don't want anybody to leave any money on the table. We want everyone in the City of Detroit to get what is coming to them, to get their credits, and to get their refunds. So how do you do this? How do you get started? So it all starts with a phone call. You can call 211, or you can call Wayne Metro directly at 313-388-9799 and make that intake appointment. It all starts with the intake appointment. Or you can visit our website at waynemetro.org/taxes. When you get to our website, there's a huge banner that says, "Get your taxes done here." It is easy peasy. So if you're concerned about getting out and you want to keep your family safe, you can get your taxes done in the comfort of your own home. So at that intake appointment, we can determine if uploading your documents to get your taxes done in a virtual format is the right thing for you. And if it is, we will walk you through that process. Wayne Metro will file your taxes, and your taxes will be done by a certified employee at Wayne Metro that is certified by the IRS. Now, if you can't upload your taxes, we have something really cool called Drop and Go. As the mayor stated, any one of our convenient locations throughout the city, you can have your documents in a folder, you can drop them off to a Wayne Metro staff member, we will turn that around, get your taxes done, get them filed, and have you come back around. You don't even have to get out of your car, and we'll hand all your documents and your return completed for you in a super timely manner. So this is a really cool thing to do. I hope that you take advantage of it. Now, through COVID, if you haven't, for some reason, gotten your taxes done last year or the year before, good news, at Wayne Metro, we can go back 3 years and get your taxes done. So I encourage all of you to take advantage of the service. If you make under $57,000, as the mayor stated, it is free, and we're ready to go. We're open for business, so please reach out. So with that, I am really pleased to turn it over to Priscilla Perkins, who is the president and CEO of the Accounting Aid Society.
I love these masks, but you often get tangled up in them when you have glasses. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for that kind introduction. I'd like to thank Mayor Duggan for giving these wonderful organizations a great platform to share what we can do for the citizens of Detroit. At Accounting Aid Society, what we do is provide free, virtual, and in-person tax filing preparation services for our eligible individuals and families. We can also help you if you have disputes with the IRS through our low-income taxpayer clinic. We help families where English isn't your first language, and we do it in a professional atmosphere. We've been doing it for 50 years, and we are doing it at 5 sites in the city of Detroit to help our families. I can't overstate, as my fellow colleagues and the mayor has, how important and how grateful we are to serve the citizens of this community by putting thousands of dollars into households that have suffered so much during the past 2 years. For a single parent earning minimum wage, raising 3 kids in a household, they stand to earn or receive as much as $15,000 to $17,000. A single parent receiving SSI income, raising 3 kids under 18 years old, can receive as much as $10,000 in tax credits through the Child Tax Credit Program. In some cases, this is doubling the income of families. What we do here with these wonderful agencies is we have impact. If you're a grandparent and you're raising a grandchild in your home and you're on Social Security, you can receive as much as $3,600 in income. We can't say it enough. We're here to help. It's free. All you have to do with Accounting Aid Society is dial 313-556-1920 and our wonderful call center personnel is there to help you. We had a great meeting this morning. They're so excited to help. We had great experiences over the past weekend helping individuals. I once again want to thank the mayor for this opportunity. We are grateful. Make an appointment. Unfortunately, we can't do walk-in because we want to keep you safe. That's one of our priorities. And we welcome you to provide the service to help you and your family get the earned income tax credit and the child tax credit that you deserve. At this time, I would like to welcome to the podium Dr. Dariel Hudson with United Way, Dr. Darian Hudson, I apologize, with United Way of Southeastern Michigan. She's their fearless leader. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Priscilla, and thank you to everyone for allowing us to be here today. I especially want to thank Mayor Duggan and the City of Detroit for their continued leadership and persistence in this area. Of course, the Accounting Aid Society and Wayne Metro, who are our key partners in leveraging this important initiative, and U of M Poverty Solutions as well for your continued efforts. We believe at United Way in the power of community. Together, we know that we can do more and be more impactful than we could ever do separately. This partnership is critical and really reliant on all of us bringing our best effort and our resources to the table to help increase the income of our families that need it most. Both the child tax credit and earned income tax credit provide vital income boosts for our working families, and these programs are vital and they support the needs of our children and let working people keep more of their hard-earned money. You're hearing everybody say we want to make sure you don't leave any money on the table today. That is the theme you need to walk away from this press conference with. This partnership is focused on making sure everyone has access to their full refunds. And we're focusing the increasing awareness of these credits and improving access to free tax preparation over the past several years. And as you heard the mayor say, we've been able to bring millions of dollars back to our Detroiters annually as a result. A key aspect of this coordination is access to the information and appointment scheduling. Now, you've heard 211 throughout this entire call. This is the call center that we operate. You can contact 211 to be able to schedule an appointment. You've also heard several phone numbers today that you can contact. Now, we've also launched getthethaxfacts.org. This is an online hub. It's housed within our website, but this is where people can find accurate information about tax credits and VITA tax services. So that's the volunteer arm of the tax services that are provided. I know myself, I have a tax preparer, but I like to know what I'm talking about when I walk in. It's a very daunting and intimidating process. So you can go to this website just to understand the rules, understand what kind of documents you need before you schedule your appointment. And I highly recommend that you do that. It's something I use myself. In previous years, we only relied on these. Let me start over. As in previous years, as I mentioned, you could call 211 to schedule an appointment. But given these challenging times, we want to encourage everyone, please, to leverage the resources that you are hearing today. If you're comfortable navigating online software, you can also go to My Free Taxes to file your own taxes. It's a question and answer format, and there's no appointment needed. This service is free to everyone, regardless of income level. And My Free Taxes can also be accessed on the website that I mentioned earlier, getthethaxfacts.org. The current increases to the EITC and CTC are good policies, and as discussions continue in Washington on the child tax credit and other essential household supports included in the Build Back Better proposal, I'm pleased to see similar conversations that are happening here at the state and federal level, and I hope our state legislators vote to put families first by increasing the state EITC. These dollars not only go a long way towards stabilizing household budgets, but also bolster our local economy as families increase spending on local goods and services from community businesses. So again, I thank all of our partners who are here today and the many people who have been advocating for these resources for our families. Again, I encourage all of you listening, please, to take advantage of the resources available. And for those who are interested in volunteering, you can use the same numbers to sign up to be of help to the community. And last but certainly not least, I am so pleased to introduce to all of you today Ms. Kylie Spiller. She is a Detroit resident who is also a recipient of the expanded child tax credit and the earned income tax credit. And she's the reason why we are all here. So Kylie, I'm so pleased to welcome you up and thank you all for being here.
Thank you for having me. I am here because I am an advocate for Wayne Metro and Accounting Aid Society. I have used Accounting Aid Society and Wayne Metro as I've been a single parent, head of household, and the child income tax credit is extremely important. It's no reason why anyone that is a parent that makes low income or a single parent especially to not reach out and take advantage of this opportunity to help your family and our children. Our children are our future, and not just in our households, but they're the future of the world. So it's no reason why families that are going through complications with inflation these days should ever leave this amount of money on the table. And that's all I want to say.
Kylie, tell them about your experience with these folks.
Wayne Metro is always professional. They've always been patient and kind. It's very detailed, but they make it easy when coming to get your taxes done. It's as simple as making an appointment with them, and they go over your paperwork before you arrive, and they let you know at the end of that meeting exactly what you're supposed to receive back in taxes and in a timely manner. Never once have I been told anything from Wayne Metro that has not been true. I also have been receiving assistance with Accounting Aid Society as well to get my taxes done in the years that I've been a single parent. And they've all been, and both of them have been professional and accurate. I've never worried about anyone calling me to say that something was wrong with my income taxes. And again, inflation is not stopped. So to leave this amount of money on the table does not make sense. We all need help, and it's for everyone.
All right, that was perfect, thank you. And so the people on the phone and on the website are ready to help you the same way they helped Kylie, and with that, we'll take any questions.
I have one question. Maybe this is for Luke from Sarah at the Detroit News. She's wondering if there's any data on like numbers of how many are eligible for either earned income tax credit or child tax credit. Like how many families, how many individuals?
As the mayor said, virtually all families are eligible for the expanded child tax credit. So the thing that's very different from other tax credits is even if your earnings are zero, you're still eligible for that $3,000 per child that paid out monthly in the last half of the year, but also has the other half coming on taxes. So whether or not you got that monthly amount or not, you should make sure that you file taxes. And that's a thing that's really different from what we've seen before. The earned income tax credit, the nice thing about it is that it increases as your earnings go up. So I know a lot of families struggle as their earnings go up and their other benefits go down, like their food assistance, right? This is a way to counteract that. Up until $30,000 plus or minus, as your earnings are going up, your benefit's going to be going up. So the vast majority of families are going to be eligible for one or both of these. And as our expert said, we're talking about large amounts of money, right? We're talking about $7,000, $10,000, depending on how many kids you have, upwards of $15,000 that could come as part of your tax package.
How did I know?
I'm here on another topic, snow.
Oh, really?
For the people who live, work, and do business in the city, big snowstorm is coming. Are you ready?
I'm here with another person to answer. So Ron Brundage, our DPW director, anticipated that you would show up and ask that question, and Ron's going to tell you how prepared we are. Ron, come on up here.
Good afternoon. I think we've all heard the most recent projections that call for the city of Detroit maybe receiving anywhere between 12 to 18 inches of snow, with the snow starting sometime Wednesday morning and continuing until the evening on Thursday. We've got our folks prepared. We've got about 97 drivers between our two divisions that handle snow operations on major streets, and we're putting them on 12-hour shifts beginning Wednesday morning, and that'll continue until all of our work is completed. Obviously, for a snowfall of this accumulation, we are anticipating that our work is going to go beyond just on the major roads into the residential areas and residential neighborhoods. We've already put our contractors on notice that we're going to be needing them to provide provide plowing services on our residential streets. We've got 5 different contractors that we deploy over the 7 city council districts. Our cost to provide one plowing cycle is about $620,000 for one complete cycle. We have adequate funding in our budget to cover these costs, and it of course was anticipated. So, obviously, we're going to continue to monitor the forecast over the next 36 hours, but if nothing substantial changes, we've got a plan in place to address the worst of what we expect to receive.
When you say 97 drivers, is that a mix of the city and the contractors, or are they all the contractors? How would you describe that?
No, the 97 drivers are city employees only. We've talked to our contractors. They've assured us that they have adequate drivers to man all of their equipment for the work on the residential streets. So the 97 drivers represents what we have of just city staff. We're actually fortunate that this storm, if it has to come, is coming this week as opposed to 3 or 4 weeks when we had several drivers that were out with COVID. But now we've got most of them back. I think as of this morning, we only have 3 drivers that are out for COVID. So we're in a much better position.
Are you short of drivers? We've done some stories with the municipalities, counties who have lost drivers. They're short of drivers. We're checking with all of them again today. So the same question for you. Other than these 3 who are out for COVID, are you down number of drivers?
Our driver numbers are lower than they were at this time last year. We're about 30 drivers less than what we had at this time last year. But we do feel confident that the 97 drivers that we have, combined with the fact that we're going to go to 24-hour operations beginning Wednesday morning, is going to allow us to go through and get all of the streets clear.
And when you say 620,000 for this one cycle, is that a combination of city and contractors as well, or is that just contractors' money?
No, that's just the cost for the contractors to plow the residential streets.
Okay. And a question about last year. We did a story in February of last year with some residents who didn't have the contractors show up. Some city trucks came, cleared their streets, and I think I'd asked the mayor at one of his news conferences, you penalize these contractors when they don't get the job done within 24 hours. Now, how will you, my first question on that is, how will you handle that if this is what could be a 36-hour event with those contractors doing the residential streets?
So I will say, with regards to the contractors that didn't complete with the time that we allotted them last year, those contractors were penalized, financially penalized. In fact, 2 of the contractors had districts removed from them, and they won't be plowing in those districts in 2022. But some things have changed since this time last year. A significant difference is that we've installed over 7,000 speed humps on residential streets throughout the city, including 5,300 additional speed humps since this time last winter. And we understand, and that's going to have an impact in terms of how long it takes for our contractors to go through and plow those residential streets. So we don't necessarily think it's fair, to have them commit to the 24-hour hard requirement that we've had in the past. We're working with them. Obviously, they know that we want them to get the streets plowed as quickly as possible, but we are going to take into consideration that it's going to take them a little bit longer to go through the streets. And then with regards to the duration of the storm, you're right. It looks like, the storm is going to go into Thursday evening. So we're going to take that into consideration as we decide what's the optimum time for our contractors to begin. Historically in the past, we waited until all of the snow is ended before we have the contractors start. We may not have that luxury with this big snow event if it plans out the way that we're hearing right now, but we'll make those determinations over the next 36 hours.
Just to clarify, you said 2 contractors lost 2 districts. Does that mean they're not with you this year?
They are with us. Those 2 contractors each had 2 districts last year. After evaluating them, first, we did financially penalize them for the work that they didn't complete, but then we recognized that it was really just a matter of them being awarded more than their capacity. It wasn't that they were bad contractors or incapable of performing the work. It's just that, the amount of work that they were awarded, didn't coincide with what their capacity was. So this year, we've eliminated a district for each of those 2 contractors. We're very confident that they can perform the work, and now that they're in alignment in terms of what they've been awarded with what they're going to be required to do, we still feel very confident.
Do you know how much they were financially penalized right offhand?
I don't have that number offhand. We can certainly get it to you.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, can I have you back for just a moment? This is kind of a question in context. I recall when you took office, this city was faced with days and days of streets that went unplowed, and this is the system that you've devised. So can you talk about
Yeah,
before and after?
My first week on the job, I went and rode with salt truck operators. So it was unbelievable how outdated the equipment was. There was no GPS. You had absolutely no idea where anybody was. The truck that I rode in, the auger didn't work to push the salt out the back, so every couple of blocks, the driver would stop, he'd tilt the truck up so the salt would fall to the back, and then he'd continue driving. This is night and day. And so we have a system. And so the 97 drivers have the main roads. They're city employees. They're locked in. I have them work as many hours as they can safely work. And then there was a time when the city didn't do side streets at all. We have 5 contractors. We typically send them out after 6 inches of snow have hit on the side streets. This time, we'll evaluate what happens, but my guess is we will send them out earlier. And so this is a way for us to always have an employee team that can handle the main roads, but also ramp up. We don't know. Are we going to get 1 storm in the neighborhoods a year or 5? We don't really know, and that's why we use the contractors. And we'll have a process in place where we will, as we have, tell the public that the contractors are now certified to us, that every neighborhood has been plowed, and then you will be able to contact us where somebody's been missed. Ron's team immediately goes out and looks. If they don't fix it themselves as a contractor, the city crews come back out and we penalize them. And so we will enlist the residents of the city as our eyes and ears. That process has worked out well. I won't tell you it's perfect, but it is a whole lot different than just being snowed under for days at a time as we were 7 or 8 years ago.
When you hear these numbers, my last question is, when you hear these numbers, 12 to 18 inches of snow over a 36-hour period, do you lose sleep at night?
I just hope the Channel 7 weatherman is wrong. All right. Yeah, we're prepared. It won't be easy, but we're not facing anything every other city in the area is not facing. We'll deal with it. Anything else? Thank you very much.